What's going on YouTube? Cryptic TCG here, coming at you at UK Nats with another deck profile. We're here today with Sam. So, how did you do? What did you play?
Well, I played Shining Sarcophagus, the new stuff that came out of Legacy of Destruction that, if you saw my feature at round 5, even the commentators didn't know what they did, and most of my opponents were the same. I made day 2, and that's all we'll say on that.
Cool, let's get into the list.
Aye, so it's 3 Stratos, Gadget Trio. It's Stratos for the deck. On normal or special, he adds the box, Shining Sarc, or a spell trap dimensions, and when he does get destroyed, you could set Stronghold, the, what is it called? The Hidden Fortress. Shows how much I play the card, because I don't know what it's called. It's not worth playing. So 3 of that. It's 2 Magician Zero. She's just, she's just lovely. Every time your opponent draws a card, the level goes up by 1 and the attack goes up by 500, equal to the difference in levels. And if Shine Sarc's on the field, she's a spell negate, and the level goes up by 1. Just 2, because you summon it with Ties That Bind, but it's the negate that's better than the other one, which is Swordsman, which similar to this, but in standby gains a level, gains 500 for the attack, and it negates targeting effects. But I feel like spells were better, so if you lose this, not so bad. You lose this, you kind of want another one. And Gandora G, the Dragon of Destruction. He's, oh, I love him so much. You have Shine Sarc, summon it for absolutely free. It does activate, which is a bit cringe. You can pay half and press the button, destroy all cards on the field, then banish them as well, and then summon one of these guys from deck, and the level goes up by 1. You're normally going to summon this. That's why there's 2 also. If you summon one with Ties That Bind, Gandora next turn, summon this. So you always have a little spell negate. And yes, that's it for the Shine Sarc cards, the monsters at least. Dogsman's best friend, no explanation there, he's just really good. And, well, went a bit overboard there. So 3 Ash, because Ash. Saw no branded today, which was a bit sad, but you know, it was still good when it was good. And one of the spells locks you out of the extra deck, so what else does? Dogmatika. So we got 1 Ecclesia and 1 Maximus. Maximus leads to the Winderlock, that's usually what we're searching with Nadir's Servant. And Ecclesia is there if you already have Maximus, so you can get punishment.
Did Maximus ever backfire?
It did round 2 against Melodious Voiceless, and you could probably guess why, because of Bloody Herald of searching their rituals and all. But, you know, getting to a lock that says you can only summon once is a bit better than them getting 1 search. And yeah, that's it for the monsters. And now for dispels. So going into this whole weekend, I was posed with a question. I could either go and play Time Wizard 2010, which could have been a lot more fun, or I could trade it all in for what's in this box. And I went with the box, which we play 3 of. So can't be destroyed by monster effects, so please Ghost Ogre me, I bloody dare you. And during the main, you can search any card that mentions itself, and if your opponent specials from the grave, discard a spell, send it straight back to the grave. That effect didn't come up as much, but you need this here to do anything with the deck. And also, 3 Stratos wasn't enough, so I played 6, but this in spell form adds a monster. They mentioned Shine Sarc, but the funny effect. Activate this in the battle phase with Shine Sarc up. Both players draw until they have 6. And one instance in one of the games, attack with Magician, whose level goes up every time your opponent draws a card, made them draw 5, and it went to 55 attack on declaration. And that was enough for game. Funny cards, funny cards.
That's an interesting way to work in the damage step.
Oh, absolutely. Well, on declaration. Sorry, not damage step. And also, it's a quick play, so it plays around draw if you do it in the draw phase. Then, but a single turn silence. Quick play, target a monster, boost its level by 3. If it's in response to a monster, your opponent's monster, while you have Shine Sarc, it negates that. And, oh, I wish I played 2. I really do, but I didn't. But next time, maybe. And Grave Effect, if your opponent attacks a Shine Sarc monster while it's in the grave, banish it. During damage step, end the battle phase outright, which is saved me a few times, which was very good. But I do wish I'd
come up against like Tenpai.
No, actually, I had Tenpai round today on the round 10, and didn't see it, sadly. But it would have been great because I only had Tenpai once, but it was fine. And then Dogmatika stuff. Oh no, sorry. Ties That Bind, the more important one. The best spell in the deck. Have Shine Sark and Shine Sark Monster, usually Gadget Trio. Summon Magician and Zero, Swordsman from the deck. And,
Only one?
You only need the one, because I only play 2 Magician and 1 Swordsman, and if they stick around, then it's fine. I never drew it until, the world decided to throw me a curveball, and I did. And you can search off these, so it's just worth playing the one. And usually if you go into the next turn, you go in Gandora anyway, so you can't summon Gandora off that. That would be a bit too strong. And now the Dogmatika stuff. Free Nadir's Servant, yeah. We're usually sending Entis with this, or something that isn't like a dark, because I need to keep the darks, not to banish with Maximus, but to banish for Schism. But yeah, Prosper's Prosp. It's very good. And then this took people off guard. 2 Cosmics in the main, and this was probably the best card of the day. It dealt with just any sort of floodgate trap that appeared. Took out the Sangan summoning round 10 like 3 times with this. That was very fun. And yeah, it's good. And then 2 talents. If you saw my feature, game 1, this won the game for me, taking the Ryzen out of my opponent Jamie's hand. Jamie, if you're watching, I hope you're doing okay. And then Called By is Called By. The Joanne special, if you know what that means. And that's all the spells.
Cool.
Trap lineups linear. Kill Infinity, because meh. Kill anything else. Punishment, search off Ecclesia. It didn't come up much, but it was good when it was good.
I saw it got dusted in your feature match.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, let's not talk about that game 3. And the Schism. This was great when I saw Nadir's Servant, but people love to Called By the Abcalone or Bestial it. So I only summoned Winder twice this whole weekend. When I did, it was great. When I didn't, I cry.
How often did you open Schism?
Way too many. I wish I didn't, but because you need to get Abcalone in the grave with Maximus. So if you opened it, it was dead. But Nadir's Servant is just a Winderlock, if uninterrupted, like all good things, and that's the main.
How many in the main?
40 cards, nice round 40, nice round like me. Extra deck. It's a Dogmatika, no summon from the extra deck, so it's didn't go into this much, but 2 Intis, popping stuff. She was great. Then there's the girl, the summon off the Schism. She was droplet bait all day. Never allowed to have fun with her, but she'll have her time. Maybe because it's the bad artwork. And Bestie, can't do it without her. Burb. Usually, if I didn't prosp, I would send this and Abcalone off Maximus. But if I prosp to get into it, he was getting prosped. Skoluagon. This
is an interesting one.
This was absolutely lovely today. So like Skull Knight, but the reverse. Send a banisher from the grave, pop a back row. This was for Runic, but I didn't see any. But it was good dealing with extra leftover back row, pop some imperms and a Called By once, and dealt with floodgates as well. So yeah, it was good when it was good.
Wouldn't the third Entis do the same thing as well?
True, but there were instances where there wasn't anything to pop at the time, but then I sent this just as cost, and then it was okay for waiting a turn because they would set 1 back row, and then next turn I can use this to pop it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think I should put 3 Entis, but I made day 2, so it must be working, eh? This guy was the best card in the extra deck, outright.
How many times did you summon this?
Oh, what's the biggest number I can think of off the top of my head? It's the equivalent to that. Normal Dash, slapped this on. Normal Silent Swordsman with nothing else, slapped him. Typhon is the best Xyz in the game. You don't have one, get one. Zeus, never heard of him. He's anti-Zeus. Don't side with Uncle Zeus.
Would you play 2?
Oh yes, absolutely, after today. Might even play 3. I loved him so much. He was great. And then the rest, we got If you can't handle me at my best, you don't deserve me at my worst. This was summoned more than this, though this was summoned in the last round against Tia to steal a Amseti, purely just so I could try and make a Celine, but yeah, I don't think it worked. This went into Celine more because Veiler's a card, so yeah, they were good. This was mostly sent with Prost, but if it came up, it came up. She was good when going off a Charmer, and I would summon back the Silent Magician Zero to then go into the fake one because, Keel. This was Prost bait. I could have made it at some point, but never thought applicable. This to send Garura off punishment, never happened, so he was a Prost bait. Never summoned him either. Wish I did, he's really cool.
I mean, it is a tricky card to out when you do summon it, right?
True. I can send it with summon it with Gandora, and then it gets his protection. But yeah, if I could play 15 copies of this, I would.
No SP?
I'm playing Shining Sark. Do I look like I can afford SP?
I mean, on the Shining Sark's money.
Not as much as SP.
True.
You could buy 4 Shining Sarks for the price of 1 SP, and probably have change left over. Cider deck. Obviously this is subject to change, but deck doesn't care too much about the graveyard, so we get to play the funny man. Put this against Tier round 1, saw it game 2, and I'm almost certain I saw them shed a Tier. But yeah, he was good when he was good.
Any consideration on maining it?
There was, but I felt like if I was guaranteed first win in the die roll, and I will say out of 11 rounds I won, don't read too much into this, 9 out of 11 die rolls, and yeah, I felt like securing the Nadir Silver with the Winterlock going first was better than dropping this. Certain matchups, this was better, but those are certain matchups as opposed to every matchup, where locking one summon down is a bit better. Storm warning. There's a storm warning out there because I hate back row decks. And this was really good. It's been a few years since people probably have seen this, but against any decks that make heavy, unbreakable boards, this will break it. Gandora will do the rest.
So like voiceless and stuff, right?
Absolutely. This, I did take care of a Skull Guardian, and thankfully the voiceless barrier can only protect them from targeting, and Gandora didn't care, didn't ask. Speaking of dealing with voiceless,
and Tenpai.
I did see this against Tenpai, and twice in the same game against Voiceless Melodious. So, called Fusion one time and Ritual the other. Yes. I did want to get the, was it the Archfiend trap? That's like...
Oh, yeah, it was Simul Archfiend.
Yeah, the one that includes links, or, if you have a link, you can't link. But because that was more prepared against Snake Eye. But I only had Snake Eye once today. All my matchups were only one-offs, but this did work for what it was designed to do. No.
Yeah, the old man says no.
This was here for evenly. Didn't get evenly once this weekend, but it dealt with Droplet more than anything.
Yeah. So what's your overall conclusion on the deck?
It's okay. I think I was very lucky with the matches that I did have. Especially round 1 when my opponent forgot his deck at home and had to leave. But yeah, that was all right. I think it's getting more support next set with the Dark Magician that can summon itself, and then when that gets killed by Gandora, you can set Destined Rivals, which is an old Dark Magician trap that is Dark Ruler but trap. So I don't think it's going to take the deck to any higher tier status, but I just love me some Rogue, really. And funny box. I mean, I made day 2, so I must be doing something right, eh?
Fair enough. Any shout-outs?
Yes. Shout-outs to my token American friend Oscar for letting me borrow these lovely Fenrirs. I'm not sure if... No, those are the only cards I borrowed. Shout-out to Cryptica Gaming. And everyone else from Firestorm Cardiff that came down today. And also, a special one to Nick Crease, because he made top 16. It should have been me.
Yeah,
but,
so
can't have it all.
Thanks for the deck profile, Sam.